So if you don't know your break-even cost, you're basically flying blind. This is your minimum income target just to cover your business expenses and pay yourself properly. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. It's actually scary and you can't avoid it forever. So the sooner you get on top of this, the more empowered you are to make better decisions for your financial future. Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Beauty Industry Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Kennedy, and today I'm back for a solo episode. It's honestly been a hot minute and I've been loving interviewing different guests and having co-hosted episodes with Ellie, but I'm currently working hard behind the scenes to pre-record as many episodes as I can because by the time this is going out, I'll probably be away on holiday in Vietnam. And I actually wanted to talk about that, like what I've had to do to prepare to go away for a month. So first things first, I feel like I run 3 businesses almost. So I've got my coaching and consulting, which is working with one-on-one clients and then obviously running things like book banked and in demand and in-person VIP days. And then I've got the podcast, which honestly, it does feel like its own business. You've got to organize guests, you've got to make sure you script episodes, you've got to film, that gets sent off to the agency. There's a bunch of things in the back end that happen there. And then I've also got Wild West Bowling. And between the 3, I've realized I just can't do it all on my own. So some of the changes I've made have been obviously hiring an OBM, which has been a game changer. She can go in and implement systems and processes through Go High Level. She sets up all my automations. She's been building out landing pages. I have invested in some contractors, like people to help set up things like Facebook ads and then also website. So for me, I personally chose contractors over employees because I wasn't looking for something to commit to long term. I just needed help getting it set up, trialing and testing. And then as I get to see the experts implement those strategies in the business and I can see the return on investment, I might later look at bringing someone in long term. But for now, that's been my approach, is just working with different contractors. I had to organize a branding shoot because my photos were 11 months old. It was just getting to the point where I looked at them and I wanted to vomit, and every single podcast story that was coming up, it was the same photos, and I just felt really misaligned with my brand. And on top of this, also been filming out lots of trainings, getting sales funnels set up, landing pages, lead magnets, email funnels. It's just been wild. And then on top of that, also hosting an event at Wild West Bowling, dealing with a manager leaving, hiring new employees. Like there's just been so much stuff going on and I've had to really get real with myself about what am I focusing on today? What are my top priorities? And then pushing other things to the side. And then on top of that, just trying to be a friend, a girlfriend, a daughter, all of those things. It can feel like a lot. And so the promise to myself I made was to not burn out so I don't just go on this holiday and feel like I'm trying to recover the whole time. So I actually decided I'm going to hire the help. And my business has significantly reinvested a lot of capital to be able to get that help. And as I'm going away on this holiday, I'll have a month where I'm just getting people through booked, banked and in demand, building up beta testers and the wait list. And then when I come back, I'll be doing more of a launch, as in hosting a masterclass or challenge, being able to really start pushing it through Facebook ads. And I think for me, I almost put the pressure of saying, I need to have it launched. I need to have it out there. I need to hit this many people through it. But I realized it's just unrealistic. And that's another thing about going on these holidays is I sometimes would create crazy unrealistic expectations of what I had to achieve in order to feel worthy of going on that holiday. Like I would feel guilty because I haven't done all these things. And if you look at my history of going on holidays, 3 holidays in a row, I would host the fully booked formula training, which was an 8-day intensive held across Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2.5 weeks. And I'm not even joking. I don't know how I did this, but I would have the fully booked formula training, be so burnt out, finally finish delivering it. And then the next day I'd be going on holiday. And I just was never prepared. I just felt like everything was going to crumble when I left. 2 years ago, I went to Vietnam and I traveled for a month with my friend. I was going through a breakup. There were a lot of things that happened and I just didn't even touch my Instagram or my laptop for a whole month. And I pretty much had to rebuild my business from scratch. And so I've learned lessons from that experience that in the whole 2 months leading up to this trip, I've been able to work with Andre, my incredible VA. We've been working together, building out systems and processes in the back end. She knows how to handle my marketing. I've got my podcast agency now. They've got 3 reels coming out a week. So my advice to you is if you ever want to go on a holiday, you just need a plan for it. I think so many people say to me, like, how do you do it all? You're running all these different businesses and you do the podcast and you're in Albany and I just don't get it. But for me, I've really had to learn how to plan, and I'm not a planner by nature. I'm the most go with the flow, we'll just figure it out as it goes kind of person. And after meeting Nick and seeing how he structures his goals and he plans things out and then him holding me more accountable to doing that, I've noticed that by planning, even if it makes me feel uncomfortable, even if I just get overwhelmed and I shut down, if I am able to plan, as a result, I actually get more freedom and opportunity and time back. And so if you are looking at going on a holiday or just taking some time off or doing something for you to fill your cup back up, because if you're working so hard all the time and you don't do anything to celebrate or relax, then what's the point? Like for me, travel is everything because I know I work damn hard. There will be days where I will work, 12 to 14 hours because I'm fulfilled by what I'm doing and I really love it. And I have a drive and a passion. And to be honest, I just can't stop until I know the thing that I'm doing for that day is done. But at the same time, I also have learned that when I was growing up, it was all about just work, just work, just work. There was no reward, no celebration. It was constantly survival. And so now these holidays have actually become a critical part of me enjoying my lifestyle and me building the business I want. Because if I was building this and I was doing all these things, like not taking the time to celebrate or enjoy life, what would be the point? So that's been some of the lessons I've been learning lately about planning and preparing. And by the time this podcast comes out, I probably will be on holiday, but at least I will be able to reflect and report back about did this planning actually work and what I've noticed. So we'll see. Watch this space. So in today's episode, I want to talk about something that can really change the game for your salon or clinic, and this is end of financial year planning. Now, I know numbers aren't the sexiest topic in the world for some of you, but trust me, if you want a profitable, sustainable beauty business, end of financial year is the time to pause, review, and reset like a real CEO. Now, I wouldn't be able to go on holidays. I wouldn't be able to just randomly fly to Sydney on a random Tuesday if I didn't plan and know my numbers. And if you look at me and all the things I do in my life, it's because I've been able to get clear on what money I need to make, where I need to allocate it, what goes to tax GST, what I'm paying myself. And because I've got this financial plan in place, I can either say, yes, I can do that, or no, I'm not doing it. And at the end of the day, I don't usually say no unless it's something I don't want to do. If I can't afford it, I don't say, oh, that's not going to work for me. I just ask myself, how can I afford it? And then I map out a plan so that I can afford it. And so I want you to start thinking like this because, man, when you can, the opportunities are endless. Like I remember listening to other people saying, I can't afford this, I can't do this, oh, it won't work for me. And I was in that position. I wanted to go to a business retreat. There was another event I wanted to go that was in Sydney. That was a business 3-day boot camp. And I had less than like $500 in my bank account at one stage. And I just remember going, I'm going to make it happen. And what do you know? I made $5,000 in 1 week and I found a way to make it happen. And so I want to give you some of the insights that I have into my crazy world that make these things possible for me. And also now I don't have to live with $500 in my bank account. I'm now in a position where I invest. I'm now in a position where I plan ahead of time. I have profits and they can be allocated to doing things like this. Okay, real talk. If you're a beauty business owner and you're still doing everything yourself, from posting on socials to replying to DMs on the toilet, creating reels at 11 p.m. in bed, trying to keep your books full, lead a team, and somehow still show up as a decent partner, friend, or parent, this is for you. I created Booked, Banked, and In Demand because I was that burnt out business owner once. Always working in the business, never having enough time to actually work on it. I've now taught the strategies inside this training to over 300 salon owners who have gone on to triple their revenue, become the go-to name in the area, and finally get off the income roller coaster, burnout, and chasing clients. It's also the system I used to build a multi-six-figure coaching business and scale a 7-figure bowling alley in 7 months. Because once you know how to attract clients, convert leads, and create consistent cash flow in your business, it works anywhere. Inside Booked, Banked, and In Demand, you'll learn how to attract dream clients on autopilot with the content that consistently fills your calendar, lock in 90% plus rebooking rates so your income isn't riding a roller coaster every single week, and delegate the back end to a VA so you can step out of burnout mode, reclaim your time, and focus on doing more of what you actually enjoy, whether that's growing your business or taking a damn holiday that you know you deserve. So if you're tired of doing it all and ready to get more clients, make more money, and finally have more time freedom again, this is your sign. Click the link in the show notes and let Booked, Banked, and In Demand be the last training you'll ever need. So in this episode, I'm walking you through the exact steps that I would be reviewing when it comes to my own business, when it comes to Wild West Bowling, and then also my clients. Now, the tools that I've created, you probably heard me talk about things like my profitable pricing calculator, my break-even cost calculator, the KPI tracker, revenue reflection, and all of those things. I created them because I couldn't find them and they were what I needed at the time. So if I make reference to them, it's not because I'm trying to say this is the only way to do it. I'm just saying it's because it's the best thing that worked for me. And this is how I got clear, confident, and ready to make my financial years the most profitable I could. So grab a notebook, open that spreadsheet, and let's get into it. So number one, we want to start with your break-even cost. So if you don't know your break-even cost, you're basically flying blind. This is your minimum income target just to cover your business expenses and pay yourself properly. Not what's nice to have, but what's needed. So if you haven't already, I'll link it below in the show notes, but download a copy of my break-even cost calculator. What you can do there is get clear on how much does it actually cost you to run your business. So what I like to do is look through my bank account, look through Xero or whatever accounting software you use, and do a review of where you're spending your money. So I would be looking at things like, has rent gone up? Is it going to go up? Wages, where are they sitting at? Have you had some new employees come on? Have you had some employees leave? I'd be looking at things like your website hosting platforms, any other softwares or subscriptions. I would be looking at even things like your Spotify or Apple Music. Are you claiming that in your business? People forget about things like business registration. You've obviously got all of your insurances. You may have some contractors. Obviously, the US dollar has been unfriendly towards Australia at the moment. So, what may have been a $200 kind of dollar budget for your VA may now have gone up to $250 or $300. And so just being able to reflect back on all of your operating costs and think about, what am I actually spending to make this business work? And then look at, in that calculator, how much is it costing you to run your business weekly, monthly, and yearly? And then ideally, you want to look at your income and go, ooh, am I making that much or am I spending too much? And so this is a great activity to do because it creates accountability and awareness, but also it allows you to start going, are there some subscriptions that I could be cutting right now? Are there some costs that I don't really need to pay for anymore? Are there some areas that I could take money from and then reinvest in another area that I know is going to bring a greater return on investment? So adjust your break-even number for any rising costs, especially knowing that super is also increasing. So if you have employees, as of July 1st, it's going from 11.5% to 12%. So you need to make sure that you're aware of that change and implement that into your business, because that alone might impact your total wage spend significantly, especially if you've got a large team. So number 2, I would be reviewing wages and super contributions. So wages are usually your biggest expense. So let's make sure they're actually aligned. So you've got to ask yourself things like, are your team hours and earnings sustainable for your business? Are you factoring in the super increase to 12% from July 1st? Do you need to adjust your pricing or targets to actually support this? So if you've got a KPI tracker and you can track how each team member is performing, you'll be able to see who's meeting target, who isn't meeting target, how many hours are we giving away at the moment? Are we looking at scaling to reach a new financial goal? Do we need to add more team members in to be able to reach that goal? Like doing that kind of reflection and planning accordingly, that can help you in setting out new budgets for your wages, or you might actually be cutting the budgets in some kind of way. It's completely up to you and what your unique goals are. And this is why you need to review these things, because some people's wages might be going up. You need to be on top of that. You need to prepare and plan accordingly. Now, the third thing we need to do is revisit your prices. So now that you know your break even and your wage costs, it's important for you to ask yourself, are you actually charging enough to cover your expenses, pay yourself, and make profit? When was the last time you reviewed your pricing against your break even? I've worked with easily over 70 beauty salons now doing profitable pricing, and majority of them are running at a loss. And I don't know how these businesses are surviving. And it's scary because I just had a profitable pricing session the other day, and the lady that I was talking to had 3 contractors working for her, and she was paying out 60% commission. She's doing the marketing, the admin, paying the FPOS surcharge, giving them all the supplies. And we realized she's actually losing money. Every single time one of these girls provides a service, she's paying them too much money. The business is at a loss. She's the only one in the business who's actually able to make a profit. And so without reviewing things like this, you could find yourself in a position where you're just working so damn hard and you're not getting to where you want to be. Now, even scarier, this same client, she didn't realize she needed to register for GST, and she's already making over $140,000 in income. And so you've also got to think about, well, now you've got to backdate that GST. Now you've also got to consider, what are you setting aside for tax? And if you're not aware of these things, this is how you can get into trouble, because now you have tax debt. Now you've got to go on a payment plan to pay all your GST off. And so that's going to put your business at a loss. And then if you're not reviewing your prices, if you're not factoring in the increased costs of materials, supplies, wages, rent, then every single year you're just going backwards. So if it's been over 6 months, you definitely need to review your prices again. Every 6 months, every quarter really, I would be looking at your break-even costs and seeing, is there much of a change? Every 6 months, I would be reviewing your prices to make sure that they're still profitable. And every 12 months, I would be ensuring that my prices are also aligning with inflation. And for anyone who sits there and tells you, oh, I just do a $5 to $10 increase. Well, how do you know that that's even aligning with the ongoing increase of inflation? Like, you don't know that. Minimum, you got to look at a 7 to 10% increase these days. And $5 to $10, that's not enough. And so I've worked with people who have been in the industry anywhere from like 8 to 15 years. And over that time, they've just done these $5 increases each year, and they're running at the biggest loss you could imagine. And so I want to talk about this, not to scare you, but to bring awareness, because people don't take this seriously. And then they wonder why their business goes under and they go bankrupt. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. It's actually scary, and you can't avoid it forever. So the sooner you get on top of this, the more empowered you are to make better decisions for your financial future. So make sure that you are revisiting your prices and you're doing in increase and charging accordingly. It doesn't matter what other people are charging in your area. It actually matters how much you need to charge in order for you to sustain running your business, because there's no point trying to charge what everyone else is charging when they're all undercharging and undervaluing themselves, running at a loss. You don't want to just copy that. Like, you need to know that your numbers work for you. And you don't need to justify your price increase with new packaging or equipment all the time. Increased value can come from the client experience, expertise, or even demand. Now, number 4, we want to review your profit and loss statement. So end of financial year is time to get honest about where your money's gone. This is kind of the same as the break-even cost, right? You want to pull up the profit and loss and ask, where did I overspend? What gave me a return and what didn't? Are there subscriptions or expenses I could cut, as mentioned before? And where do I intentionally want to invest in the next 12 months? So do you want to invest in growing your team? Do you want to invest in a rebrand? Is there a new training or piece of equipment you would like to bring in? If you can get clear on what it is you want, you can plan out the rest so you can actually make it happen. So use your profit and loss to create a budget for the new financial year, and then make sure you also map out your big investments so you can plan your cash flow around them. Number 5, are your team KPIs aligned with your new income and profit goals? And are your incentives driving the right behavior, like rebooking, product sales, and client retention? So if you're not already tracking this in your business, I highly recommend that you do use a KPI tracker, because what this is going to do is reset expectations, re-engage your team, and bring them into the vision for the new financial year. So you can create goals as a team as well. If there's something exciting coming up, whether it's a team building activity, it's a reward, it's something that everyone gets to benefit from, or individuals have their own goals that you will reward them for, this is a great time to get clear and plan out what that could look like, and then restructure what the KPIs and incentives are for each person or the team as a whole. Number 6 is to plan your promotions and revenue campaigns. So end of financial year is a great time to also zoom out and map out the bigger picture. So look at your calendar. This is something I do with all my one-on-one clients when we do the profitable pricing session. We do this thing called a revenue reflection. And basically you can put in each month's income over the last 5 years or more, depending on how much sales data you have. And what it does is shows you what percentage that month is worth out of the year's income. And so it'll work out that for the year, and then it'll also work out averages based on all the years you've operated. This is key to being able to identify the peaks and troughs in your business. So you can see, okay, if these are the historically quieter months, how can we plan a campaign or an offer during that time or ahead of that time so that we can bring the revenue in? Now, if we look at this year, having Easter and Anzac Day fall 2 weekends in a row, 2 public holidays, there's less days in the month than normal to be able to trade. And so I wouldn't be surprised if most businesses have seen a dip in their income due to that. However, if you're smart and you plan ahead, you can have promotions going on in the background. You can have online sales coming through. You could have some packages or something like that that you're doing the month ahead to plan for this drop so that it's not so detrimental to your business. Or you could actually end up doing so well that you actually have a higher month. Who knows? But being able to plan out the campaigns and offers ahead of time, that will help you align to reaching your financial targets. So the other thing I want to think about is, if I know I need to do this offer or campaign for this month, what marketing materials do I need to plan out content-wise? So if I know it takes about 30 days of promotion for me to get the message out there, then ahead of that 30 days, I've also got to think about, okay, well, we need to plan out the campaign. We need to get the marketing materials together. Do we need to do a brand shoot? Do we need to contact people to get testimonials, UGC, influencers, all the things? Like being able to plan ahead, 3 months at least, so that you've got a nice launch for that promotion so it has the highest chance of success. So this is where the marketing calendar that Ellie and I spoke about in another episode And having those strategic promotions can come into play. So you're not just chasing gaps, but you're filling them intentionally. Now, the last thing that I invite you to do, which is number 7, is a personal reflection. Are you where you want to be? And let's get honest for a second, because end of financial year isn't just about spreadsheets. You've got to ask yourself things like, am I paying myself consistently? Is my business bringing me freedom or stress? And what do I need more of next year? Is it support, structure, time, profit? Business is personal, and I think it's so easy to get caught up at seeing what everyone else is doing and think that you need to meet that kind of expectation and keep up with that. But for me, like I said at the start of the episode, like I love travel. I love being able to help my family out. I love the podcast. I don't want to give things up because they all light me up and I enjoy it. It is hard. It takes a lot of energy and work, but it's also equally fulfilling and exciting for me. And so for me, I've created businesses around my lifestyle, businesses that allow me to do the things that I want to do. And so I think one thing that really helped me was being able to give myself permission to do what I want, not what other people do, not what other people think I should do, but to actually get clear on what I really want. And if you haven't done this in a while or you've never done it before, take a day out. Like seriously, block out a day in your calendar. Go somewhere that you enjoy. If it's the beach, if it's going to a cafe, find somewhere that you're going to feel relaxed and you're going to feel inspired or just happy. And then ask yourself, like, what do I really want out of life? Like, why am I doing all of this? What's the purpose? And then you've got to look at, okay, well, the way I'm showing up right now and the business I'm building and the way I spend my time, is that aligned to the life I want to live or not? If it is, great. How can we make it even better? If it's not, what do we need to do to change that? You need to build a business that supports your lifestyle and that works with your life goals. Otherwise, what is the point? So there you have it, your full end of financial year audit and reset checklist. If you follow this process, you'll start the new financial year not just feeling prepared, but also feeling powerful. Now, if you need support with pricing, targets, KPIs, or cash flow, make sure you check out the break-even cost calculator to just dip your toes into that world if you've never done it before. But if you want personalized guidance and someone to hold your hand and help you through it, book in a one-on-one profitable pricing consultation and you will get access to all of my financial resources and calculators. They will absolutely change your life. I have had so much positive feedback from people. Check out the reviews on Google. Send me a message if you want to see some video testimonials, because I have created something that makes the finances easy and enjoyable for you. Pretty spreadsheets that make sense, that show you exactly what you need to know so you can make better decisions in your business and also feel like you're the one in control of your numbers, not your numbers in control of you. Let's make next financial year your most profitable and sustainable yet. Please don't forget to share this episode with another beauty professional who needs to hear it. Don't forget to tag me at Beauty Industry Leaders and let me know what your biggest end of financial year breakthrough is. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.
Audience exclusive.